On the 3rd of October, in a land far away, a young woman was reading and knitting one day. The election was coming, and she was upset. She was scared of the leaders her country could get. And as hours went by, as she read the day's news, her mind started to wander. She started to snooze. And she dreamed a strange dream. She was older and gray. She was walking outside on a dark, rainy day. All the streets were deserted. No one was in sight. With the shops boarded up, something didn't seem right. As she walked, she passed by an old man in the street, and he said,
"Can you help me buy something to eat?"
Stories, $1,000 he'd scrawled on a board. She was shocked. That was far more than she could afford.
Could you tell me a story? My name's Nixie Knox. I don't have any money, but here's some new socks.
Then he clutched the wool socks in his gnarled old hand, and he said,
"Here's the tale of the fall of Greatland. In the country of Greatland, this land that you see, lived a proud group of people, much like you and me. For a long time, a lot of us had peace and health. Some Greatlanders prospered and built up great wealth. We made more people equal, and people soon knew that if they moved to Greatland, they'd earn these rights too. So a number of people, just like you and me, left their homes for Greatland and crossed the Great Sea. But some people got greedy and tried to take more. Then the others were not as well off as before, so we made a mistake. A huge, big league mistake for a country. The biggest mistake you could make. We elected a leader who wouldn't prepare. And to make matters worse, he did not even care. Mr. Harold J. Grump was the name of this chump, but most people who knew him just called him the Grump. No one knows why the Grump got so grumpy at all, but some say his hands were 2 sizes too small. For when he was a little Grump going to school, the kids who played great ball made him look like a fool. His Grump hands were too little to grasp the big ball, and they grabbed it so fast he would stumble and fall. And his little Grump heart didn't grow, not at all. His poor heart was so hurt, it's 4 sizes too small. As years passed, he grew older and had lots of wealth, with big loans from his father, not all by himself. How he loved being rich. He wrote Grump on it all, and it made the mean kids seem so silly and small. He made up the Grump Apprentice on Great Vision 1, where each week he would say to a worker, "You're done." He built Grump University, Grump Plaza 2, Grump Casino and Towers, Grump Park, and Grump Zoo. He tried selling Grump Roast and Grump Water, so cold, but no one wanted food that tastes bitter and old. As more years went by, he got bored of his life. "I should be more historic. I've got a new wife." And one day, looking out from the 99th floor, Mr. Grump saw things weren't as good as before. He saw crime. He saw people who'd lost jobs and health. And he said, "I can fix this. I know how to wealth. I'll tell people it's broken. Things here are all wrong. Greatland needs an outsider who's different and strong. Yes, we need law and order. Things must be set straight. And there's no one but me who can make Greatland great." He spoke only of problems and anger and fear. Many people believed what they wanted to hear.
"All these poor foreign workers are taking your jobs. We'll bring the jobs back and kick out the slobs. Then we'll build a wall to keep them all out. No more crime. Bring our jobs back."
He started to shout.
"Lower taxes are just what we need,"
said the Grump.
"And this great care has made our economy slump. Health care isn't a right, it's a service you buy. And we can't afford it. I'll kiss it goodbye. We'll tax imports and exports to keep Greatland great. All that money will pay for a lower tax rate."
And when not enough voters said no to his lies, this man won the election, to my great surprise. He did what he promised. He built a huge wall. He sent immigrants home, families, children, and all. The Grump taxed all the shipments across the Great Sea, so things got more expensive, from clothing to tea. Now for Greatland, this meant food and clothes cost a lot, so most people who used to go shopping did not. The shopkeepers went home, and the workers did too. With no customers left, there was no work to do. Then the Grump canceled Great Care. When people got ill, they spent all of their cash on a big doctor's bill. Great Care helped us get by. If we're sick, we can't work to earn money to pay for a doctor, you jerk. But the Grump and his friends didn't care about that. They were counting their money and getting quite fat.
This is ours. We deserved it, said Grump. Can't you see? If you only worked harder, you'd have wealth like me.
Then one day, a new virus emerged on the scene. Some folks got very sick as it spread sight unseen. The Grump shouted,
"Don't worry, it'll go away soon."
But the scientists said, "Don't be such a buffoon. It's the biggest pandemic in 100 years. That old Grump didn't care.
You're all stoking fake fears. Take some chloroquine tablets. They're $5 each. If you don't have the money, just drink chlorine bleach.
All the other smart countries wore masks and stayed home. But the Grump didn't listen.
Don't listen. Go out. You should roam. Think of your freedom, your country. The plague is a hoax.
And so many people believed him, and it killed lots of folks. And that's how Greatland fell. Our jobs went away, there was nothing to buy, and no money to pay.
Then the old man's sign changed. It had one word, accept. And he said,
"That's your future. Accept."
Accept.
And the man disappeared in a puff of blue smoke. Nixie stirred in her sleep. With a start, she awoke.
That's our future. Accept.
Nixie sat up and thought.
That's our future, except if we care a whole lot.
Then she said,
I will vote, and my friends will vote too. We can vote out the Grump and his bright orange dew.
Nixie logged on to Greatbook and Instagrate too, and she told all her friends Greatland needed them too.
We must vote for our future.
She wrote on her wall.
If we don't, then our Greatland could crumble and fall.
And millions of people, just like you and me, went to vote to make Greatland as great as could be. Though some well-meaning folks voted Grump all the same, he still lost and flew home in his fancy Grump plane. Then he said,
"It was rigged. It's unfair. They all cheated. It's the only way I could have been so defeated."
The people of Greatland were smarter than that, and they paid no attention to such a big brat. Then Nixie dozed off as she watched GNN, and with Greatland now safe, saw the future again.